What's up, everybody? It's Flea Market Pickup time again, and the last part of this video I'm going to show you those 13 NES games I was supposed to show in my part 2 video. Never got around to that because my camera died, and just never got around to shooting it, but my game guy that I usually buy all my retro games from at the flea market, he wasn't there this weekend. He called me, said his wife was sick, he wasn't going to make it. So there's another guy that sells, N64 titles and up. He has PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and up like there. Disc-based games and up pretty much. He has a few retro, but not much. So I went and checked his booth out and picked up a few PlayStation games, and then I went to G2K, picked up Genesis and a Super Nintendo game, and then the rest will be NES. So let's go ahead and get into this so I can try to beat that 10-minute mark. First thing I picked up, this was actually from my wife, was a nice little new TV here. She's wanting a TV for the office, which has now became pretty much her sewing room since I'm out of school now. So she's pretty much turned it into her arts and crafts sewing room, and she wants a TV upstairs for when she's sewing. And she told me, I can go ahead and plug some consoles up to it. She doesn't care. So I'm going to actually take a couple consoles, probably either my top loader and my Master System, or one of those two and my PlayStation 2. I haven't decided yet. Probably take my Master System and my PS2, hook it up to that TV in the office, and that'll be pretty cool. Next thing I actually want to show is I actually forgot about this, a microphone for the Nintendo GameCube. Like I said in my last video that Sandem Todd had mentioned, they're definitely phasing out their GameCube stuff, and they had this for $1.99 plus my 10% discount, which isn't very much, but for $2 I couldn't pass up the microphone for the GameCube. I believe it came out with Mario Party 6 and 7. May be wrong. I think there was also a karaoke game for it, but odds are I won't find the microphone with the game very often in the wild, so went ahead and picked that up for $2. Now on to what I got at the flea market this weekend. Like I said, my guy that I usually buy my retro games from wasn't there, so I went and checked out this other guy's booth that has more newer generation games. And he has a big stack of PS3 games, and he had added onto it from the last time I had actually went over there and looked. I'm going to have to start going over there more often, because last weekend, or a couple weekends ago, I don't remember when it was, I found Dead Space over there, and this time I found a few other games. For $10 a piece, I can't complain. Spider-Man Web of Shadows, definitely a game that I've been wanting to play for a long time. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I don't buy games brand new very often. I usually wait quite a while for them to go down in price. I'm pretty patient when it comes to waiting for a game to go down in price. And I've still been waiting on this game to find it at a decent price. And $10, I definitely can't complain. Next, I got Spider-Man 3. I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. I love that game. I had a blast playing it. I played it, non-stop until I beat it when I first got it. And the open world was so much fun, being able to just go wherever. And I believe this game is pretty much the same way, but it is missing the front of the manual, which I talked him $5 down on. He did want 15 for it, and I was like, man, the manual's kind of tore up. I'll give you 10. So he took 10 for it, which isn't a bad price. I'm sure I'll get $10 worth of enjoyment out of it. I believe the reviews were it's kind of repetitive with all the missions, helping citizens and stuff out, but that's alright. I'm sure I'll still get $10 worth of fun out of it, because I still love to go back and play Spider-Man 2 from time to time. Then I got Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't bought this game yet. I have played this game before at a buddy's house back when it came out, but I've only played it, a little bit while I was there, and I've been wanting it to go down in price for a while. and finally got it. But yeah, little ashamed that I never did buy this game because it's great. What little I had played of it in the past, and definitely going to be the first game out of all these that I get into. Uh, Definitely happy to get it. It's a not for resale version, so I'm guessing it came with a bundled PlayStation, which that's cool. But definitely been wanting this game for a long time. Played it a little bit at a friend's house back when it came out and loved it, and was waiting for it to drop in price, and somehow I just never did go back to it. I believe they're still selling for $25 at GameStop right now, so $10 was definitely a steal. Next, on to retro games. I got for the Genesis, I got Dinosaurs for Hire. Case is kind of beat up. It's not in that great a shape. It kind of looks like a dog has chewed on it, but definitely running low on the cased Genesis games right now. So definitely hard to run across them. So went ahead and picked it up for $4.50, hoping that I can get a new case for it pretty soon. Once flea markets is, all the flea markets start back up and yard sales, I'm hoping to run back into my Genesis games a little more. Next, I got NHL 95. Bought this for $4.50 as well, just because it's even harder to run across Super Nintendo's boxed, and it is complete. It's got all the paperwork in the game. Uh, Normally, I wouldn't want to pay that much for a sports title, but hockey games are generally pretty fun, so I didn't really have any games to go by this weekend outside of those PS3 titles I picked up. I love at least getting a few retro games a weekend, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. Next, paid $30 for everything I'm going to show you here, including this Tasmania game here. Tasmania, Super Nintendo, cool game. Go ahead and show that. The rest of these are NES titles. My brother-in-law actually bought me these 5 titles, and then I paid $30 for the rest, including that Tasmania. So these were free as long as I promise not to sell them or trade them. That way when he comes out to visit, he can play, because he doesn't have a NES anymore. So he wants to play him when he comes to visit me. He bought me Werewolf, The Last Warrior. It's an okay game. I believe it was just your average side scroller, beat 'em up. Uh, really just watched him play it for a little while. I never actually played that one yet. Monster Party. I honestly don't remember what this was about. I'm assuming it's a side scroller. Beat 'em up. So that's about the only thing I can think of. Is it would be another beat 'em up title. Ninja Gaiden. I don't even have to say anything about this game. Everybody knows this. Been wanting this game for a long time. Just haven't run across it in the wild. And my brother-in-law ran across it and picked it up for me. So definitely awesome there. Next, Load Runner. It's got a little bit of damage here. A little bit of stuff I need to clean off of it. But it's kind of weird. It's a whole lot of climbing on ladders and digging holes, making these little guys fall into it and then collecting gold off of their heads. Kind of a weird game. Not really my taste, but. And then finally, Gunsmoke by Capcom. It's definitely a pretty fun game, but a lot harder than what you would think when you first get into it. Kind of overhead shooter. You're walking around in the West, and you can upgrade your weapons and stuff. And it's definitely a lot harder than what you would think when you start out. Next, we got these are all the games I bought. Super Mario Brothers for the NES. It is the 5-pin. I didn't have the game alone. I had the version with Duck Hunt. I also have Duck Hunt by itself, so now I've got Mario Brothers by itself. It's not in the best of shape, but it's in okay shape. Next, we got Legendary Wings. It's in really good shape. I can't really say anything bad about this one. So, definitely really good shape. We got Spot, the video game. Kind of a weird, it's almost like a board game, but I don't really know a whole lot about Chinese checkers, but I imagine it's kind of like that. It's weird. I played for a few minutes and didn't really know what I was doing. So kind of just like a weird little game. Got Silkworm. This is actually a pretty cool shooter. It's a side-scrolling shooter where you can either be the helicopter and shoot from above, or you can be the tank and shoot from the ground. Definitely, if you play this game, be the tank. I think the tank was a lot better. Next, we got a 5-pin pro wrestling. Never actually played this game growing up, so I don't know how good a wrestling game it is. But love to collect the 5 pins. 3 more, and then we're done. We got Super Mario Brothers 2. Definitely a classic, must-have for the collection. I've been wanting it for a long time, and just never did run across a good copy. The only thing I could say bad about this is there's a little mark right here, but other than that, it's a really good copy. So definitely happy to finally grab it. Next, we got Ghosts and Goblins. Don't think I need to say anything about this game. It's in a really good shape. Little dent at the top, but still great condition. And then another game I've been wanting for a long time and just haven't run across a good copy at a decent price. And that would be Metroid. I got a little sleeve for it as well, so that's cool. A little sticker left on it, that'll come right off. And this is a really good copy of Metroid. Definitely a game that doesn't really need much said about it. Little bit of damage right there, but overall in great shape. So finally have a copy of Metroid to add to the collection, and that's it. I hope I made this in under 10 minutes, but knowing me and the way I ramble, I didn't make it. But that's it. Contest video is still up. You have until the 14th, I believe. Check the video. It has the date and everything on there for that. And I'm going to cut off entries on the date that is listed on the video. I may not get the drawing video up, but that will be when I stop counting entries. So if you still haven't entered, do that. You have, I think I have 5 or 6 entries so far that did video responses. So those 3 entries might be a little more important because that's quite a bit. So that's it for now. Gonna be working all week, so I don't know if I'll have time to do any videos until the weekend, but I will see you all later. Hope y'all have a great week. I'll definitely be trying to keep an eye out on all your videos. And also, real quick, on my contest video, I haven't really replied back to many people, mainly because it's easier to keep track of all the names when I don't have a reply under them. So I wasn't ignoring anybody. I've read all those comments on my 200 sub video. It's just easier to keep track of everybody who's entered the contest by leaving a comment if I don't reply back. There's a few people I did reply back to, but for the most part, I try not to reply back on the contest video because it's a whole lot easier to go back and make sure I have everybody entered in, because there's a few names I didn't get to write down right away. I have to go back later in the day and write them down just because I don't have time. So I just wanted to explain. I wasn't ignoring anybody in that contest video. I just never did. I just didn't reply to them so that it's easier to make sure I have everyone entered for the contest to be fair. So, but of course, I will respond to all my other comments in my other videos. Just wanted to explain real quick why I didn't in that one. So, that's all for now. I'm going to try to cut this video off now. I'll see you all later, and take care, everyone.